guys, welcome to Hardcore Enduro, where it's all about getting out and riding the hard stuff. I'm George, the guy behind the bars and the voice behind the mic. So today we're doing a little boot review. These are my Sidi Crossfire 3s that I've worn the last 4 years. Put a lot of hours on them, really beat them up, and I just doing the pros and cons that I like, and why I'm changing out, and I'm getting a new set of boots, which are right here. I'm going with the Garnet SJ or G12s, and I haven't tested these out, so I'm not going to do reviews on these. I'm just cover why I picked these over the new pair of Sidis. All right, so I'm replacing them now. If you look at these boots here, there is the sole is starting to peel off right here, and it's where you're dragging your foot, you're kicking rocks. These are starting to take a beating right here, so they're starting to split. Another thing, the Velcro, where the Velcro is up your leg, your calf right there is starting to come off right there. That's why I'm replacing these. A couple other worn spots, but that's the main reason here. And then the sole. Now, Sidi, a lot of these parts, what I really like about the Sidi is that anything that's broken or rips off, you can buy that individual component and replace it. But the sole right here, I don't believe you can replace this. So this is wearing off. And I've had these 4 years, nothing lasts forever. When I bought these, they were around, I got them on sale, really good price actually, 350 bucks. I think they're over 500 bucks now. And so looking back, main goal of these boots, I wanted a high-end boot to protect my foot and my ankle. I mean, my motto is I can fix the bike, I can't fix myself. It's easier to fix a bike than it is to fix myself. So I want to buy good gear that's going to last. And I will say this has protected my foot. I have had numerous falls, kicks, drops, stomps, and my foot has not got injured at all. My ankles never got injured at all. So these have done the job, and they've actually lasted a very long time. I think you're getting a quality boot with this. The buckles here have never broken. They never pop. So once they're buckled in, they've never popped off. I know a couple of my friends have some Alpine Star and even a Fox boot, and you'll see their buckles popped. And maybe it's just the setting, how tight they are. I know you can adjust them different tightnesses, but these have never popped, and I really like that. And they've never broken, like nothing's ever broken. I know you can replace parts, but nothing's ever broken. Now the sole is worn out, and I wish I would have replaced these last year, and maybe that would have helped out keep these boots a little bit longer. But the soles, if you can see here, I'll zoom in on that one. The soles are just really worn out, and they're bubbled up. They need to be replaced. The sides here are worn. Here there's holes, and on this side too, the padding here, this extra protection here is worn out. That's about all the wear. The rest of the boot is held up. I mean, I could be replacing this, but really, this would probably last until the sole is what's given out first. And for 4 years of a lot of hours on the boot, I think they've done a great job. All right, things I like about the boot. The protection wise, it has this little hinge. It protects it from going all the way forward or all the way back. So it doesn't stop everything. If you really, I've come down pretty darn hard on the top of the peg and your foot has gone forward like that, and I've felt the stress in my ankle, but it hasn't gone that extra way. So I do believe this is assisted in that preventing your ankle from over flexing there. And same way going back. Now I've never gone the other direction with it, but it has that same capability to prevent your ankle. The other thing I like, it has a dual Velcro system, which it allows it to really, if you got a different size calf, a fat calf or skinny calf, my particular calf, just medium size, it allows it to custom mold around your calf a little bit better. And then when you get, I wear braces now, knee braces, This allows it to extend out and fit around that knee brace. And there's plenty of room to get that knee brace kind of will take up some room there, and that has no problem allowing that knee brace to fit in. The other thing I like about this boot is for 4 years old, every time I put this on, it feels tight, which is good. When you want a boot that it has to be stiff for it to give protection. If your boot is so flimsy and sloppy, if you fall on it, crash on it, bend your leg to it, it's not providing a lot of protection. So every time I put this boot on, I always have a sense of, wow, this is tight. When you first put it on, it takes a little bit to break it in. So I do like that. It shows that it just hasn't broke down over the 4 years of riding a lot of hours with the boot. So that's been very good. One of the straps here, this last year, a couple months now, the way that this boot locks in right here, it has a little strap there that this little buckle snaps into and locks into place so it can't slide in and out. Now this top one is broken. The bottom ones are in, but you can see this bottom one, or this top one here, it slides in and out. So that's the only part. Now I can replace that. And I should have bought, as soon as I bought these boots, what I'd recommend is buy a set of straps. A set of buckles. Just in case they do break. Mine didn't break at all, not one time. But right here, it did wear out, and it's so cheap to get these parts. I could replace that out, and this one had been a problem. It was only thing, every time I put my boot on, I'd have to readjust that for the last about 5 months ago. So I wish I would have just replaced that and bought the extra buckles. They're very cheap. All right, so now some things that I don't like about the boot that could be improved is right here, and I think all boots have it. All boots have a soft spot right here, and they got to have it to flex, but they need some kind of extra armor right on this the front of your ankle right there, because I've hit a stick in there, and I've actually hit my foot peg has gone in there, and it has kind of stabbed me. Now it's still pretty thick leather, but they need to make some kind of soft shell or something that covers up that exposed area that, you'd have articulation there. It'd still move, but it protects that. So I've had stuff, it always, whenever you crash, it's like Murphy's Law. Whatever can happen will happen. And it found a way to stab me right in my ankle right there. It only happened one time, or 2 times that it happened. One was a stick, and the other one was a foot peg. That kind of hurt. So that needs one drawback of this boot right there. The other thing that is a little bit of a problem, it was for me. Now, it was on my right boot. It never happened on my left boot, but on the right boot here, this stuff, it all sticks out. It has a lot of edges, and it sticks out with edges here. And when you're riding, sometimes these edges right here, up in there, sometimes they catch. They catch on your bike. So I'd be going to move my foot forward and backwards and raise it up, and sometimes it would catch on the frame of the bike or the exhaust or just the fender of the bike, and my foot would catch, and I'm like trying to push it, and then finally I'm like, it pops free. So that is a reason why I picked the Gar name, which I'll cover that, and I'll talk about that. So this could be cleaned up. I think the Toho that Sidi does, the Toho has much cleaned up the inside of the boot a lot, so you're not catching your boot on anything. That was a problem. The other thing, and this is just nitpicking here, the boots, the way the sole is, they've bubbled up. Now when they first bought them, it was much better, but it didn't take long. As soon as they round off a little bit, they don't stand up. So you take your boots off to keep them out of the dirt, and they fall over. So you put your one boot, take it off, it falls over. So you gotta put both boots together to keep them up. That's just a little thing that after a long day of riding, you don't want to get mud, or if you take them off outside next to your truck, and there's dirt, sand, or mud or whatever, and then your boot falls over into the mud or sand. And I wish they stood up on their own. All right, the other thing is venting on the boot. The boot does have a lot of vents here, even down here, but your foot still sweats. I've never ridden without pulling out my foot and it's just completely soaked. I mean, my socks are soaked. I always have to bring extra socks. Some people just sweat more than other people, but I've always had a drenched foot coming out of here. And then I have a little shoe dryer or boot dryer. I'll stick my boot in and I'll have that drying, which putting on a cold, clammy, wet boot, it's nice having a nice dry boot in there. I mean, it's been a great boot. Like I said, I have no injuries. I mean, no sprained ankles, other than when it just kind of stabbed me right there in the front of the ankle. Very freak accident. But I've had no leg injuries, nothing at all. I mean, your boot is to protect your foot. These have done that, and they've done it for 4 years without breaking, without wearing down. I could have changed out the soles much sooner. I don't think that would have prevented, you know, the toe, the nose of it coming off. And they're doing it on both boots, so that shows me they're wearing evenly, and that's all right. Boots don't last forever. So that is my review of the Sidi Crossfire 3s. And I've moved on to a Garnet. The Garnet here, not gonna lie, I saw Graham Jarvis wearing some Garnets. I said, you know what, I'm gonna check those out. And right away, it just, my little tit for tat of this falls over. Garnets don't fall over. And we'll see how much that lasts once the wear of the sole starts happening. But I like that the Garnet is standing up on its own. The inside, if you look at the inside, it's all smoothed out, which I haven't ridden with this yet, but I'm guessing I'm not going to have that same issue of having the boot catch on anything on the bike when I'm moving my foot up and down or whatever I'm doing with it. So I like that it's all cleaned up. Buckles, these buckles are flawless. I never unbuckled one time. We'll see how that lasts. They look pretty solid. I have tried on the boot. It fits much snugger, like more of a narrow fit. These had a little bit of a wider fit. And I don't know what options, I can't remember now because I haven't ordered these in so long, what options if you can get a wider, narrower foot. But these just feels like they fit more narrow on my leg and my foot than these did. The other thing on these boots is they have a metal tip on there in the toe, which we'll see if I'm taking this off or if I'm gonna leave it on there. I know that is gonna help the wear of it, but sometimes when you're in the rocks or on this really slippery log or something like that, and you need some toe traction, the metal may not be the best. I might need to take these off. But we'll see. Now because this is hard sole, it's like your shoe, it can catch, especially dragging. One thing about the boot here, this nose is molded in, so when you drag your boot, it's not catching all that dirt, whereas you drag your boot here, the outside or inside, that's catching all that and helping it pry the sole off. So we'll see if these boots can last as long. Like I said, these have lasted a very long time through all kinds of abuse. So these have taken a punishment and they've held up. So I'm curious to see how these hold up. All right, guys, hope this review's helped you out. If you're looking at the Sidi Crossfire 3 boots, they've been a great boot for me. If they're in the price range you're looking at, check them out. If you've had them before, if you guys want to drop some comments down, let other people know your opinions of them, that'd be awesome. Until the next video, though, get out riding and get some. Ew!